Hey guys, welcome back for another video. We got a fun one prepared today. Well, that's it. The regular season is finally over. The 2024-2025 NFL season wrapped up yesterday. One of our better weeks of football. We had a lot of teams clinch their playoff spots. We have some teams go home empty-handed. But hey, we still have the playoffs to look forward to. We have the wild card games coming up this weekend. We have 6 games in total, 12 teams battling it off, trying to move on to the next round. Right now, the top 2 seeds, the Chiefs, the Lions, they're going to be sitting out waiting to find out who their opponent is next week. But we're going to break down all of our wild card games today. Who's going to win, who's going to lose, what the final score will be. We'll also touch on the best bets, the money lines, the spreads, the over-unders. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, please drop them below and I will respond. Every week we go over every NFL game. We are going all the way through the playoffs up to the Super Bowl, and we also do the same thing for every college football game as well. The bowl games as well as the new college football playoff format we have coming up for this season, all the way to the national championship. And then we also have all of our off-season news. A lot going on in the world of football. We are in the playoffs for both sports. If you're a football fan, if you're a sports fan, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. The very first games that we're going to have coming up, there's going to be some Saturdays, some Sundays, on Monday. The first one's going to be Saturday, January 11th, 4:30 p.m. CBS, the wildcard matchup between the 11-6 LA Chargers and the 10-7 Houston Texans. We picked Houston to finally get out of that losing streak yesterday. They finally pulled out the win, but we know they are banged up, especially on the offensive side. Dell down. Diggs gone. Right now, yes, they still have Nico Collins. They still have Stroud. Stroud's not having the type of season he had last year, but they were able to limp into the playoffs. They had to win yesterday. They had to get some momentum going into the playoff season, and we know who the Chargers are. The Chargers are a hardball team. They want to run the ball. They want to play elite level defense. They come into this game with the #1 defense in the NFL, completely shutting people down, getting a lot of pressure on opposing teams' quarterback. Their goal is going to be get a lot of pressure on Stroud, force some errant throws, potentially force some turnovers. Right now, the Chargers 3-point favorites. Over in here is 43.5. They have a 52.8% chance to win this game. Herbert, very efficient season. Really came on second half, really got comfortable in hardball scheme. Right now he has 3,900 yards, 23 touchdowns, only 3 picks this year. They're averaging 23.6, throwing for 213.5, running for 110.7, giving up 17.7 points a game, which is the #1 overall defense in the NFL. For Stroud, he's closing in on 3,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 12 picks. He has to make sure to have a clean game here. If he turns the ball over, the Chargers are going to turn those turnovers into points. He has to play a clean, efficient game. Right now, they're averaging 21.9, throwing for 207.4, running for 112.3, giving up 21.9 points a game. And looking at the playmakers here, there's Herbert, J.K. Dobbins. He's been banged up throughout the season. Ladd McConkey really came on second half of the season, just shy of 1,200 overall yards, one of the better rookies this season. He's the #1 go-to guy for Herbert. When it's 3rd and long, you know he's going to find him, and Herbert has been slinging the ball really well last 7-8 games. And looking at Houston, obviously Stroud mixing over 1,000 yards. Nico Collins missed like 4 games, still got over 1,000 yards. When he's playing, when he's healthy, he's a top 5, a top 3 wide receiver in the NFL. This game's probably going to be close. Chargers don't blow people out. Games are usually close because they rely on that defense to win in the game. We have the Chargers winning this one 24-17 and moving on to the next round. And our next game, here we go again with this matchup wildcard game. Amazon, 8 p.m. on Saturday, the 10-7 Pittsburgh Steelers here coming off that loss versus the 12-5 Baltimore Ravens. What a game they had week 18. They blew the doors open. Who wants to play the Baltimore Ravens right now? Definitely not the Steelers. These teams have already faced off, but we know Baltimore, their defense playing really good right now, but they're going to be led by their offense. Right now they come in with a top 3 offense in the NFL. Actually, the #3 overall offense. They are 9.5-point favorites here versus the Steelers. With the Steelers, no matter who they're playing, win or lose, every game is always a one-possession game. Win or lose, they are able to keep the game close. They rely on their defense. They run the ball. That's a Tomlin team. Just like Harbaugh, they run, they play defense, they keep it within 1 possession. So if they have the ball last, they can pull it out and get the win. Right now, Baltimore, 9.5-point favorites. That is a massive favorite here versus Steelers defense. The over-under is 45.5. They have a 72.2% chance to win this game. And Lamar Jackson may very well win his 3rd MVP this season. The guy's put up video game numbers the whole season. It's what he's doing through the air. and it's what he's doing on the ground. Right now, Russell Wilson for the Steelers, he's closing in on 2,500 yards, 16 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's going to have to play a clean game here. Very conservative at the quarterback position. He's going to have to be slinging it. You have to be able to match Baltimore blow for blow. Yes, your defense might keep it close, but at some point, the defense is going to need some help from the offense. You are going to have to get some first downs, and you're going to have to be capable of matching the Ravens on offense score for score. They're averaging 22.4, throwing for 192, running for 127, giving up 20.4 points a game. They have a solid defense, but Baltimore's defense used to be giving up 26 a game, but they've been coming on hot the last 5 to 6 weeks, really shutting people down. They had a pretty weak secondary, but they have the best rush defense in the NFL, and they have Lamar Jackson. He's closing in on 4,200 yards, 41 passing touchdowns, only 4 picks. He also has 4 rushing touchdowns. 5,200 overall yards on offense just from the quarterback position for the Ravens this year. They're averaging 30.5 points a game, throwing for 237.4. The number 2 rushing offense running for 187.6, giving up 21.2 points a game. They have the offense. They have the defense. They can beat you throwing the ball. They can beat you running the ball. They can beat you if you turn it over. You have to get the best game of the season from Russell Wilson because the Ravens are as hot as anyone right now. You want to hit them in the face. You want to punch them in the mouth. But the Ravens, they're going to take it, and they're going to counterpunch you right back. They have the playmakers. They have Derrick Henry, just a couple yards shy of 2,000 yards this season. They have Flowers. He was banged up. We need to wait for some news from that. Bateman, likely. Andrews, and you have Lamar Jackson on the ground with 915 rushing yards himself, as well as 4,200 passing yards. And then on the other side, Najee Harris has been banged up, but if he's able to play, expect a steady dose of Najee Harris on the ground. They want to play ground control. They want to play time of possession. Keep the ball out of the Ravens' offense's hands. They have Pickens. Pickens has been up and down. He's been hurt. He's been benched. He has a lot of issues. He just needs to play smart here. Don't do anything dumb. You need to perform for the Steelers this weekend. So what's the outcome we have? This game, it's obviously was one of those back and forth games throughout the season, but we have the Ravens winning it, moving on to the next round. They're the hot team. They win this one 27-18. Then moving on to our Sunday, January 12th matchups, more wildcard games at 1 p.m. on CBS. The 10-7 Denver Broncos, they were able to clinch yesterday. Props to them. They were able to light things up. Yes, the Chiefs didn't play any of their starters, but hey, really good performance from the Broncos. We know they have a decent offense, but we know they have a defense. That's a defense that they can use to carry them deep in the playoffs. Defense definitely shows up in the playoffs. They'll be playing the 13-4 Buffalo Bills. Obviously, we didn't see much of Josh Allen yesterday, but who wants to play the Bills right now? They have the offense, they have the defense, but this is going to be 2 defensive teams matching it up, so which offense is going to come out on top? Right now, the Bills 9-point favorites. You're here is 47.5. They have a 68.1% chance to win this game, but let's call it what it is. This is the Bills' real shot to make the Super Bowl and win it this season. They have the efficient offense. Josh Allen's most efficient season, still putting up MVP caliber numbers. I think him not playing the full game yesterday might have cost him the MVP, maybe, but it doesn't matter if you get to the Super Bowl and if you win it. And right now, Denver, you just want to keep that Bills offense in check. Perhaps, try to get gunslinger Josh Allen to show up. Try to get a lot of pressure on him. Try to see if you can force him to revert back to what he's been the last few seasons with some turnovers, picks. But he just hasn't been that guy the whole season, playing very efficiently. And they're 9-point favorites. They are the massive favorites here. They have the home field advantage, but at least Denver has that defense they can rely on. Right now, obviously, the Bills with a 68.1% chance to win this game. Bo Nix, he's closing in on 3,800 yards, 29 touchdowns, 12 picks. Very good rookie season. Started out this season kind of rocky. Really came on after the first 2 games, playing within Sean Payton's scheme. Dink and dunk, accurate passes, roll that pocket out. Give him the option to be mobile, to run out of pressure, but still keeping his eyes down the field. They're averaging 25 points a game. That's a top 10 offense. Throwing for 212.4, running for 112.2. But it's that defense. Top 3 in the NFL, only giving up 18.3 points a game, only 96 on the ground. This defense is going to try to control the rush game of the Bills, force them into 3rd and longs, try to get some 3-and-outs. And right now for the Bills, the number 2 offense in the NFL, Josh Allen, 3,800 yards, 28 passing touchdowns, 6 picks, 13 rushing touchdowns, 41 overall touchdowns just behind Lamar Jackson. They're averaging 30.9, throwing for 227.9, running for 131.2, giving up 21.6 points a game. Looking at the playmakers here for Denver, Williams, Sutton, they need more from the ground game, though. They want to keep the ball away from the Bills' hands, keep it out of their offense, play time of possession, play solid defense, play solid special teams. And for Buffalo, Cook, Shakir, Coleman, Cooper, they're getting their guys healthy right now. They rested a lot of them this past weekend. They'll be ready to go, but maybe they'll be rushed. Maybe you'll catch them off guard. But we have the Bills winning this one, 28-20, and moving on to the next round. Then our next Sunday game, 4:30 p.m. on Fox, the 11-6 Green Bay Packers versus the 14-3 Philadelphia Eagles. This is a really, really tough game to pick as of right now. These are our early predictions. We'll have more picks coming out later this week once we understand more of what the hell situation is going to be for a lot of these teams. We don't know how much of the Eagles roster is going to be showing up, specifically Hurts at the quarterback position. He hasn't played in, I think it's been 2 weeks right now. We need to know, is he going to be suiting up? He's a large piece of their offense. Yes, a lot of it centers around Saquon Barkley and that deep wide receiver core, but you're going to need Hurts there to make a deep run in the playoffs. And then you have the Packers. Packers have been up and down the whole season, but I would not want to play the Packers first round either. They have the offense. They have the defense. They could honestly potentially pull off the upset. This game's probably going to be close. It's going to be a back and forth team. It's two teams that can score. It's two teams that can play elite playoff caliber defense. Right now, the Eagles 4.5-point favorites. Over here is 46.5. They have a 51.2% chance doing this one. Love, he missed 2 games this season and still 3,400 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 picks, and we know the guy can scramble. They have a top 8 offense. They're averaging 27.1, throwing for 223.9, running for 146.8. They can throw it, they can run it, and their defense is giving up sub 20, 19.9 points a game. That is a top 5 overall defense. And for the Eagles, we know what they can do. Running the ball, throwing the ball. They were number 1 rushing the entire season up to the very end because they set all of their starters this past weekend. I would hate for them to somehow lose this game and Saquon Barkley sat out week 18, did not make a run for the rushing record. That would really suck for him personally, but if they win this game, if they make it to the Super Bowl, then obviously it won't really matter. Right now, Hurts missed a lot of time, but still 2,900 yards, 18 touchdowns, 5 picks. He also has 13 rushing touchdowns out of that. They're averaging 27.2, throwing for 187.9, running for 179.3. They can throw what they can run. Probably the most balanced offense in the NFL. And they have the number 2 defense, giving up 17.8 points a game, just barely behind the Chargers. This is a playoff. This is a Super Bowl caliber defense. They get after it. They get a lot of pressure. We know sometimes when Jordan Love feels the pressure, he gets a little errant with his throws. Maybe they can force him into having a bad passing game, force him into some 3rd and long situations. Looking at the playmakers here, Green Bay, one of the most underappreciated running backs this season. Josh Jacobs, over 1,300 yards. They have Reed. And for the Eagles, obviously Saquon Barkley, 2,005 yards. Didn't even play the last game. Brown, Smith, loaded at every single skilled position. We have the Eagles pulling off a close one here, winning this one 24-21, but it's going to be close to me. And then at 8:15 on NBC, the 12-5 Washington Commanders versus the 10-7 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is 2 teams that can score. To me, this game is a complete shot in the dark 50-50 pick. Who's going to have the ball last? Who's going to have a turnover at the most inopportune time? Right now, the Bucs 3.5-point favorites. The over-under here, 50.5. The Bucs have a 58.3% chance to win this game. Jaden Daniels, rookie of the year numbers he's been putting up through the air, putting up on the ground. 3,600 passing yards, 25 passing touchdowns, 9 picks. He has 6 rushing touchdowns, 900 yards on the ground. They've been throwing it. They've been slinging it. Defense has some question marks, but the Bucs defense also has some question marks. These teams are going to get some scores. They're going to give up some points here. Right now, Washington, they're averaging 28.5 points a game, throwing for 215.6, running for 154.1. Very balanced, giving up 23 points a game. And for Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield, number 2 in the NFL passing touchdowns wise. They are slinging the ball down the field. They're running it. They're throwing deep. Mike Evans is back. Taxes, Mike Evans, 1,000 yards. Congratulations to him for getting his 11th straight 1,000-yard season, tying Jerry Rice. They don't have Chris Godwin, but hey, Mike Evans fills that role. He's the go-to guy. 3rd down, they are giving the ball to him. He comes down with it every single time. Baker Mayfield, 4,500 yards, 41 passing touchdowns, 16 picks. They're averaging 29.5 points a game. Both teams have top 5 offenses, throwing for 250.4, running for 149.2, giving up 22.5 points a game. Looking at the playmakers, playmakers here. For Washington, Jaden Daniels, the leading rusher. They need to get more production out of the running back room. The quarterback, yes, he can run the ball, but he really shouldn't be the leading rusher on this team. And they have Scary Terry with 1,100 yards. And for Tampa Bay, they have Irving and they have Mike Evans, 1,004 yards, that go-to guy. Even when they lost Chris Godwin, the wide receiver core as a whole took a step forward, made up for the loss. This is a game that I'm definitely going to revisit later this week. But as of right now, my early prediction here, I have Washington pulling off the win 30-27. There's going to be some points here. They're going to score. They just end up with the ball last. They win it. But if Tampa Bay wins this game, they are the favorite. It would not surprise me at all. I personally love Baker Mayfield. I would love to see him win, but also who doesn't want to see the rookie Jaden Daniels win? I have Washington pulling off a close one, 30-27. And our final game is our Monday night game, January 13th, the Wildcard matchup, ABC, 8:15 p.m., the 14-3 Minnesota Vikings just missed that number 1 seed, but this is an extremely talented team. Can they rebound? Can they recapture their momentum coming off a loss here versus the 10-7 LA Rams? The Rams rested all of their starters. All those offensive guys are back for this wild card round. And when this offensive roster is fully healthy, they have a lot of weapons. They have the veteran Stafford, and they have a lot of weapons for him to give the ball to. This game could potentially be a higher scoring match. Right now, the Vikings, 2.5-point favorites. The over-under's 47.5. They have a 53.9% chance to win this game. Sam Darnold, yes, he didn't have the best game yesterday, but this guy's had a great season, a massive comeback season, the best season he could have ever possibly imagined. 4,300 yards, 35 passing touchdowns, 12 picks. Props to the Vikings. They lost J.J. McCarthy. Sam Darnold stepped up. This team has never looked back since game 1. Right now, they're averaging 25.4 points a game, throwing for 237.8. Running for 109.2, giving up 19.5 points a game. A very balanced team. They can score with you on offense. They can limit you on defense. They're only giving up 93.4 yards on the ground. This is a team that wants to suffocate the line of scrimmage. They want to force you into 3rd and longs. Take the run game from you. Take the play action from you. Force you to throw the ball. But Stafford's more than fine with that. He has 2,800 yards, 20 touchdowns, 8 picks. He's a veteran. He's a gunslinger. You can get 3-4 touchdowns. You can get 3-4 picks this game. What version shows up? They have to be efficient. They cannot turn the ball over. Vikings have the offense to make you pay if you turn the ball over. But the Rams are more than capable of getting into a shootout with you. Right now, they're averaging 21.6, throwing for 227.5, running for 103.8, giving up 22.7 points a game. The defense has been playing better since they got all their offense starters back because they're able to actually get some breathers now. But the defense still overall does have some question marks. Can the Vikings exploit that this weekend? Right now, they have Aaron Jones Sr. on the ground, 1,200 yards. Justin Jefferson might be the best wide receiver in the NFL. 1,533 receiving yards. He's that go-to guy. When they need a 3rd and 10, he gets you 40 yards. He catches the deep balls at the opportune time when you need a catch. He's not just getting the first down. He's picking up massive yardage through the air. For the Rams, they have Stafford. They have Williams, 1 yard shy of 1,300. Nakua, Cooper Kupp, Atwell. So many weapons for them to spread the ball out to. So what's going to happen in this game? I have this game actually being very close, and I have it being a lower scoring game. It goes down to the ground, the trenches, who wins at the line of scrimmage, and I have the Vikings pulling it off, 24-20, but it's going to be a close one. Could go down to that final possession, could be a field goal that puts the game away. So that's our early picks and predictions for all of our wild card matchups we have coming up for the 24-25 season. Make sure to hit that like button, make sure to subscribe. If you have any comments, please drop them below, and I will respond. Thank you.